live in high definition. This is Western New York's news leader. Now, News 4 at 11.
The Buffalo Bills' first preseason game is in the books. Good evening, everyone. Don is off tonight. The Bills lost to the Panthers, but fans got a glimpse into the future.
That's right. Josh Allen took the field for the first time tonight. News 4's Jenna Harner kicks off our coverage with a look at the Bills' QB carousel. Jenna?
Yeah, well, we've been talking about that theme from the beginning of offseason through training camp, the three-man quarterback battle. Tonight, Josh Allen, Nate Peterman, and A.J. McCarron all getting set to take the field to try and prove they had what it takes to win the starting job. And Nate Peterman, he was your starter this evening, and he started off hot. 3rd and 4 early. We were scoreless. Drops back, floats it up to Kelvin Benjamin for the score. He finished 9 for 10 with a touchdown and 1 interception. Not too shabby of a night. Then it was A.J. McCarron's turn. On 2nd and 8, he airs it out to Brandon Riley for 62 yards. That set up a rushing score. McCarron ended the night 7 for 10 with 116 yards. Then Josh Allen. It would take until late in the 4th quarter. Fans wanted to see this one so desperately. Allen gets his first touchdown on the big stage. You know, it is preseason, but a 14-yard touchdown nonetheless. Allen finished the night 9 for 19 with 116 yards. Coming up in sports in just about 20 minutes, we'll have some more from the preseason matchup and some big plays for some of the other players that were looking to make a name for themselves. Dave, Jackie?
Thank you, Jenna. Most Bills fans are still flying high after the team ended their 17-year playoff drought last season.
News 4's Rachel Monjovi talked to some Bills fans about their expectations for this year.
Dave and Jackie, last year was an exciting season for Bills fans, and because of the team's success, fans are more confident going into this season than in years past. They're hoping this year's draft class are up to the challenge. Another Buffalo Bills season. Go Bills! Another high bar.
Super Bowl champs.
Fans are highly optimistic for this year's season after coming off a high from ending the 17-year playoff drought.
The drought is over, so it's like we're reborn. This year we're reborn.
Buffalo fans are keeping an eye on the rookies, specifically Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds.
Josh Allen, you know, he's got a great arm, looks great in shorts, but Tremaine Edmonds, he's going to be good this year.
Even before the preseason game, fans stood confident the Bills will make it to the playoffs for the 2nd straight year.
We did it last year. I don't see why we can't go back this year. Let's keep building this thing. Let's go brick by brick here, you know?
I'm hoping we're going to make the wild card, not full off playoff wild card like we did last year, but making it to the 2nd round.
But no matter how far Buffalo's favorite team goes, if there's one thing that's certain, once a Bills fan, always a Bills fan.
I've had ups and downs, highs and lows throughout my entire life. I'm thinking we're on an upswing now. Doesn't matter, still a Bills fan whether they go 0-16 or, 16-0.
Buffalo's next preseason game is a week from tomorrow in Cleveland. Fans tell us they're eager to see how the team will play against former Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor. Rachel Monjovi, News 4.
Well, new at 11, race fans might have been exposed to a dangerous illness. The state health department says people who stayed at the Watkins Glen Harbor Hotel between July 16th and August 1st might have been exposed to the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease. Fans at last Sunday's race could have been at the hotel during part of that time period. So far, though, there are no reports of anyone getting sick.
Adult film star Stormy Daniels has canceled 2 performances for Western New York this weekend. Daniels was scheduled to perform at New York Showgirls in Tonawanda tomorrow and on Saturday, but the shows were called off for security reasons. Before that was announced, Tonawanda police said that they would be ready to answer any calls for police services, but they were not aware of any specific threats against Daniels or the venue.
The charges that have been levied against me are meritless, and I will mount a vigorous defense in court to clear my name.
Congressman Chris Collins has denied allegations of insider trading and lying to the FBI. And Collins says he will not resign his seat in Congress He is not dropping out of his race for re-election.
Federal prosecutors say Collins gave his son an illegal stock tip. Collins was a board member of the Australian drug company Innate Immunotherapeutics. Their stock price plummeted after a trial for a drug to treat a form of MS failed. Prosecutors say Collins' son Cameron sold his stock after getting that tip, saving him and some of Cameron's future in-laws hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the congressman is under the microscope, with some of his fellow Republicans questioning his future on Capitol Hill.
I think he has to evaluate whether or not he can continue to be an effective representative for the taxpayers of New York 27, but then also an effective candidate for re-election.
Should he resign?
Well, you know, that's obviously up to Chris and his family to go through these difficult decisions that they're going to have to face. And these are serious allegations, and I recognize the seriousness of these allegations. And ultimately, that decision needs to rest with him and his family.
Republican Congressman Tom Reed will co-sponsor a bipartisan resolution that would ban members of Congress from serving on the boards of publicly held companies.
Well, there was some big action in a small town today. Local and state law enforcement agencies surrounded a house in the southern tier. They say they made a surprising discovery inside.
News 4's Erica Brecker tells us what more they found. Erica?
Good evening, Dave and Jackie. The reason for the huge response, including an ambulance and a Mercy Flight helicopter, is venomous snakes. According to the DEC, a man was keeping at least 3 venomous snakes and more than a dozen turtles in a Village of Allegheny house. That's what they discovered after obtaining a search warrant to look for reptiles there. Let's start with where exactly this took place. Way in the southern tier in Cattaraugus County, this Allegheny house is not far from St. Bonaventure University. DEC officers, police, and sheriff's deputies were at the home from 7 o'clock this morning until at least 5, carefully removing the animals and checking on their health. The ambulance and Mercy Flight were on hand in case a snake bit anyone who was handling them, but luckily they weren't needed. A DEC lieutenant tells News 4 it appears they were well taken care of, but that doesn't make this okay.
First of all, venomous snakes are illegal to possess in New York. They're a dangerous animal. After that, the turtles, they were still counting. They pose a health threat if released in the wrong area, diseases, that type of thing.
It's a highly venomous animal that's capable of killing many, many, many people from its venom, and it has no place in somebody's house whatsoever.
Now, as you can see from this brief statement, law enforcement is very tight-lipped about this right now, really only saying that they're still investigating the matter. They have not released who the man is or what he's charged with, though charges are certainly pending. The snakes are in the care of the Buffalo Zoo, according to the DEC. It's not clear where the turtles were taken. The Village of Allegheny also put a brief statement on Facebook saying at no point were the snakes or turtles ever released into the wild. Erica Brecker, News 4 at 11.
Well, tonight we're getting a closer look at the compound in New Mexico, where prosecutors say children were trained to commit school shootings.
And as Jerika Duncan reports, we're also hearing from the father of one of the suspects.
I don't know what his thinking was, because to do something as extreme as this, it doesn't make sense.
Siraj Wahaj says he did not know his son, Siraj Abin Wahaj, was living in squalor on this compound in northern New Mexico with his 9 children. He only found out after one of the women living there sent out a text.
4 days ago, I got a call from a brother named Abdul Rashid in Atlanta, Georgia. He said Sapana reached out to him and said that we need some food, we're starving.
Investigators found a total of 11 children. CBS News got a closer look today at the filthy and dangerous conditions. Here you can see shards of glass buried in concrete. They accused the 40-year-old and 4 others of child abuse and allegedly training children to carry out school shootings.
The thing is, I don't know. You have to give us evidence of any accusation that you have. So I haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard any information. See, this is the thing that you have to understand about us. Whatever they did of wrong, right? We are not going to, it's not acceptable to us.
Wahaj Sr., who says he hasn't spoken to his son since December, believes the remains investigators discovered are his grandsons, Abdul Ghani Wahaj, who would have turned 4 this week. Wahaj Sr. says his grandson's mother is on her way to New Mexico to assist in the identification process. Child Services, meanwhile, says late this afternoon, the 11 children are doing well and getting psychological counseling. All 5 suspects are due back in court on Monday. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
Still ahead at 11, how some children at the Erie County Fair are helping others who couldn't make it to Hamburg.
Plus, a fighting chance, how one man hopes putting children in the ring can help keep them off the streets. Todd?
And it's been quiet so far tonight, but we are tracking some thunderstorms that are going to make landfall in Niagara County before the end of the show. We'll have the latest on that, what you can expect for some rain into tomorrow coming up next.